So more on healthy relationships and what it is and how you can improve your relationship. So whether you are in a friendship, any kind of relationship with family members, relationships with your loved ones, I believe that these three things are the go-tos. And if you have more that you'd like to add, go ahead and add that to the comments below so I can see your point of view. So the first thing is communication, okay? Communication is important because this allows the other person to know how you're feeling. If you can't communicate what's going on in your mind, your heart, your body, no one's gonna know. How are we gonna know? How would we know what's going on, right? So communication is a big part of having a healthy relationship because this allows the other person to meet your needs. And it kind of removes the whole expectations because you're actually able to communicate what it is that you need, okay? And then the second thing is active listening. So active listening is just basically you're participating in, I don't know if you see there's a glare, but active listening includes you listening with action, in your eyes, with your ears open, and you're focused on the present. You're present in the conversation. You're actually present, you're engaged, all right? You're engaged in what's going on. It's really important, because this active listening allows you to participate. And then also, a good way to show that you're actively listening is by asking questions. So you don't want to be too much in your own head when having a conversation with someone. A lot of times what people do is, like, let's say for instance, you're talking to me, I'm too busy thinking about what I'm going to say to you instead of actively listening. You're in the present, you're engaged, and you're asking questions. And then the third is validation. So this is for a good foundation for relationships of any sort. Relationships. Any kind of relationships, you name it, is going to have a good foundation if you have communication, active listening, and validation. And what validation looks like is, wow, you practice that with me. Wow, I'm sorry you felt that way. I had a similar experience, My experience was very similar to you. So relationships, core values, creates a good solid foundation for any relationship that you want to be in, whether it's friendships, relationship with parents, relationship with your spouse, loved one, boyfriend, girlfriend, partners of any type. I mean, this can actually even be good for your pets. They're beings too. They're trying to navigate our world just as much as you are. Us being more in a hierarchy with all of the things that we created. Of course, pets, animals, they require even more care, more understanding, more patience, communicating. And what that would look like for a pet is just boundaries, healthy, positive. I guess some people would call it positive reinforcement, but positive, experience versus negative experience. I had someone tell me the other day that they will negatively discipline their dog or their animal because they feel as though that's the only way they learn. No, that's not true. That is not the way that they learn. That's something that we have conditioned ourselves to do. That's not how it is in the wild. There's like a little tiny reminder to the animals, basically, to not do a certain behavior, whereas we could take things a little too far. So you just set healthier boundaries, positive atmosphere. That could be reinforcing food. You can train any dog, anything, as long as you're consistent with the food. With food, you don't have to do any excessive yanking or anything of that such. Active listening, again, present in the conversation, and you're being engaged. You're asking questions. You are saying things like, that's an interesting point of view. How did you come to that? Or some other type of relatability. Someone says, man, I'm going to tell you about my day. My day was a really good day. I got a lot done. Well, oh, that's really cool. You got a lot done. That's awesome. A question with that would be like, what did you do? What did you get done? Right? You're validating what they said by asking the question on what they said, right? This goes great for children too. Children really benefit from communication, active listening, and validation. You communicate through healthy boundaries and positivity what your expectations are, and you keep a sound mind. You exercise patience when dealing with others, children, such. And same thing, engage, present conversation, ask some questions, and then validation. Oh, I'm sorry that you felt that way. So this would be a good foundation. I'm going to go a little bit deeper, of course, a lot deeper, but I wanted to show you guys my spin on how to have a good foundation in relationships of any sort. So go ahead and put your comments below, and if you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow for more. I'll see you soon.